there is a new coding harness in the town. Over the past year, we have seen Claude Code, Codex, Gemini CLI, and a lot more coding harnesses. And now, Meta is joining the race with its new terminal native coding agent called Muse Code. It is now clear where AI coding is heading towards. Every major AI lab now wants to own not just the model but the entire developer workflow. Muse Code is Meta's answer to that. So hey there everyone, I am Arindam, and in this video we are going to see what is Muse Code, how it works, and how we can use it in our coding workflow. So if that sounds interesting, don't forget to subscribe my channel, and without delaying any further, let's get started. So what exactly is Muse Code? Muse Code is Meta's latest terminal-based coding agent. And I think I don't need to explain what a terminal-based coding agent is. We all have used Claude Code, Gemini CLI, Codex, and much more. It also works the same way. Under the hood, it uses Muse Spark 1.2, which is Meta's latest agentic coding model. In benchmarks like Terminal Bench 2.1, this model actually beats models like GPT 5.6 Tera, Grok 4.5 and Gemini 3.6 Flash. Also, in popular benchmarks like Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, it has improved quite a lot, and now it is actually better than models like Grok 4.5, Claude Sonnet 5 and GPT 5.6 Luna. An interesting fact isn't just that Meta launched another coding agent, it is that every major AI company is now building their own coding harnesses around their models. So I am currently in Meta Developer Dashboard, and to start using Muse Code, first we will just install it. So it is pretty straightforward. We will just copy it and open our terminal and just paste it here. It will install Muse, and I have already installed it. And next what we will do is we will get the API key. So you can go to the API key section here, create an API key. You can give it like CLI, create an API key. Now I got the API key. I will just copy it and then I will just close it. We will need this API key while we are working with the CLI. So now I will run Muse. First I will allow the permission, trust and continue. Then you have two options to log in. You can either log in with browser or set an API key. I will set an API key here. So I will just paste the API key that I have just copied. Now it just validated the key and the model is set to Muse Spark 1.2 contributor. Now here is an interesting thing. They have a different pricing for the models. So let's go to the pricing page to discuss more. Now I am in the pricing and rate limit page for the Muse Spark model. So here is an interesting thing. If you're going with the standard tier or using the Muse Spark 1.2, the price per 1 million token for cash input is $0.15 and normal inputs are $1.25 and output is $4.25. Whereas if you're using the contributor tier, where the model name is Muse Spark 1.2 contributor, this is heavily discounted. You can see the price per million token is $0.002 for cash input. For input it is $0.10 and for the output it is $20. But why? It is heavily discounted because they are taking the permission to use your prompts and completions to train future meta models. That's why they're giving you such a low price. So before using this tier, make sure that you have read about this properly. In terms of the CLI experience, it looks quite similar to what we have in Codex CLI or Claude Code. But one very interesting thing is they have the voice input. So let me just try that first. Hey, can you explain what is machine learning? Okay, pretty good. It took the voice pretty well and it was streaming the tokens as well. So pretty much liked it. Let me see how it works. Okay, so we saw that it is quite similar like other coding experiences. They have streaming and I felt more like a command code. I was lately using it. So they also have these kind of terminal animations. Now what I will do is let me see what all other commands we have. We have the clear command, copy, effort. We can see the effort currently it is on high. We have extra high, ultra, but we don't need that right now. So I will go with high. And apart from that, we have export. We can export the conversation, feedbacks, fork, goal, and a lot more. In the models, let's see what all models we have. This is the contributor model. We have Muse Spark model as well. So I will just go with this. Okay, so what I will do is I will quickly ask it to create a simple Flappy Bird game in HTML CSS and see what it has created. So let me just voice prompt it because I just like voice prompting. Hey, I want to create a Flappy Bird game in HTML CSS. Create it in this folder and also run the server and give me the URL where I can access it. Okay, so it has created the game. One thing I like to hear is it also uses sandbox, so the risk is quite low here. It cannot go out of the sandbox and do random things. So that's why it was not able to start the server. So it just prompted me to open this URL and I will be able to see that, which is good. But my goal for this prompt was to see if it is actually using the sandbox or not. But it is actually doing it, so quite good on that, because we all know that security is very important and the coding agents just like to breach them. So let me just open this. This is the Flappy Bird game that it has created. The first impression is I like this, the font and all. So let me just play it and see how it actually. Okay, let me play it. Okay, so the game logic works fine. I like it. Okay, it's getting complex, but yeah, fair enough. I overall like the game and the overall UI experience of it, and the fact that it created everything in one go is quite good, because I was testing other models like GPT 5.6 and others, and they were not able to do it that well. So this is the first project we created. Now let's try another project as well. Let me go back to my terminal. So we saw that it can create the Flappy Bird game in one shot, and it did pretty well. Now I will ask it to create a flashy landing page and let's see how well it can do. So we will test its design skills mainly. So I will just paste the prompt here. So design a wildly creative single HTML landing page for a digital design studio called Neon Void, and add those things. So I will just get this prompt and wait some time to see what it actually generates. Okay, so you can see that it has completed it and it has wrapped it up in 1 minute 19 seconds, which is quite decent. Whereas for other models, it used to take a bit more time. So I would say that this model is quite fast. Now it's time to check how it has done it. Okay, so we can see that it has created this website of Neon Void, and we can see that the effects are quite good. Okay, we can see that it has created the website here, and it has some 3D elements in behind, and also it has some effects if I hover on this text, which is quite interesting. And also it has other section. Okay, this has some nice motions as well. Then it has the bento grid. Okay, it has a 3D effect as well. If I hover, this also looks good. Okay, awesome. And the contact page as well. This is quite good. I really like this one, to be very honest. And the fact that it did everything in one prompt is amazing. Okay, so we can see that it is quite good at the front end works, and it can pretty much create these kind of websites one shot. For the other models, what I've seen is they do create pretty generic SaaS types layouts, but this has actually made quite better result in this case. And overall, the animations are quite good as well. And that's it. In this video, we saw what is Muse Code, how we can use it, and still in beta, but it is exciting to see that Meta is entering the coding agent space with their own terminal native coding harness. If you have tried Muse Code, do let me know your feedbacks in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.